Everyone tells you to avoid sugar, but nobody actually explains you deep down how the cavities actually form. Here's the full breakdown. Hi, I'm Dr. Salman. Welcome back to DrBraces, my YouTube channel, and on this channel you receive 100% honest advice, zero paid sponsorship, zero paid influence, just a dentist, orthodontist helping you guys live a healthy life. That's my passion. And on this channel you will receive the advice which I would give to my kids, my family members and my own patients in the clinic. So without further ado, let's dive right into the topic. Almost everyone has had cavity or at least knows someone that has one. Either your spouse, your kids, your parents, your colleagues, your friends. But most people, when you do the conversation, they just tell, doc, sugar is bad, and they leave it at it. But today I would like to give you a little depth and understanding of actually what is the science behind this cavity, and I hope after this video it helps you lead a healthier life. So today I'm going to break this topic in 5 simple subtopics. Number 1, what is a cavity? Number 2, how do these cavities actually form? Number 3, why do some people get cavities more than others? Number 4, what are the different levels of cavity? Number 5, what are the ways that you could lead a life where you avoid these cavities? And a bonus, number 6, what if you already have a cavity, what needs to be done? So stick around and let's jump right into the topic. So let's talk about what is a cavity and how it actually forms. See, a cavity technically is also called as dental caries. So what happens whenever we eat any food or consume any beverage, these things produce sugar. Always they are in some form of sugar or the other, and the bacteria in our mouth, they feed on these sugars, and when they feed on these sugars they create a byproduct acid. That acid is what attacks our teeth repeatedly in and out, and whenever we eat and drink something, our teeth become vulnerable for a certain period of time when the acid attack is happening. As the acid attack happens and the teeth gets demineralized, it becomes a little soft. When it becomes a little soft, it's called a white spot lesion, and with good fluoridation, with good fluoride toothpaste and good hygiene, normally this is reversible, and that's what happens. Remineralization takes place. But if given a chance for this bacteria to constantly attack on our teeth and the demineralized surface is constantly bombarded with acid again and again and again, it simply leads to breakdown on the topmost layer, that is an enamel, and then it reaches dentin. And when it does, you now officially have a dental cavity that requires a filling or a restoration which cannot be otherwise repaired or re-healed without doing any dental procedure. So that's generally the journey from what is a cavity and how it actually forms. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about what is the reason that you seem to know people around you. He must have not visited dentist for a long time, but he never has cavities. It's no problem. But there are people who get repeatedly cavities. Whenever they go to a dentist, they are told that, yeah, you have 2 more cavities. Oh my god, you have developed a new cavity. They're fed up. So why is it that some people have cavities more frequently than the others? Well, to some extent we can blame genes and hereditary, very small part, but for the majority of it, there's a secret. There's 2 things. Number 1 is how many times do we have sugar exposure every day, and number 2, how long do we have the sugar exposure for? Always remember, this is a very useful habit to develop. As I'm talking to you guys, I'm now enjoying my black coffee. So I'm a person who likes to drink when I'm talking on the video. Whenever I consume my coffee, I keep it in mind that I finish this off in the next 8 to 10 minutes. As this coffee consumption goes on for about 8 to 10 minutes, now my teeth get a little acidic and they get vulnerable for acid attack and demineralization, starting from the time I have started consuming coffee till the time I finished it, and for another 40-45 minutes beyond my coffee consumption. Now I have a friend or my associate dentist. She drinks the same coffee, but she takes about 3 hours. If you're going to have the same beverage, going to sip it slowly by slowly, every 5 to 10 minutes, savor that sip, and drink the same coffee for about 2 to 3 hours. Now your teeth are not vulnerable for the first 8 minutes in my case. They are now vulnerable for the whole 3 hours and then another 45 to 50 minutes beyond that. Same coffee, same amount of consumption, but different damage, different acid attack, different vulnerability for your teeth. Now I meet some people who are used to snacking and eating 6 to 8 meals a day. So what happens? Your teeth your oral microbiome gets exposed to sugars 8 times in a day or 6 times in a day, and your teeth become vulnerable for, let's say, 8 to 10 hours out of 24 hours. So then what happens? You are now more prone to acid attack, more prone to decay. So one of the secrets that I would like you to know and get installed into your daily routine is, whenever you're eating or drinking something, limit the exposure. I'm not saying don't enjoy your tea or coffee or eat very quickly, but at least make sure it's a reasonable amount of time. Do not drag it on for hours together. Do it quick, and after that try and limit to eating 2 meals a day or 3 meals a day, and try to keep your beverage consumption in and around the meal time. This is one of the tips I give to the parents of these young kids who walk into our offices and tell that, doctor, he's got a lot of cavities and he just needs chocolate every day. See, chocolate by itself is not a bad thing, but what happens, how we consume the chocolate. This chocolate is consumed late at night or at odd times. Normally, if it's a kid and you want to give him some candy or chocolate, please give it just before the meal time. So the kid has the chocolate, candy, and after that immediately they eat the meal. So what happens? The meal itself acts like a cleansing action. It lets the teeth get clean, and the amount of different times of sugar exposure is limited. Now, instead of kid having 3 meals a day plus another 3 to 4 snacking and chocolates, so that's about 6 to 7 exposures in a day. It's only about 3 meals, along with that 3 sugar exposures happening right just before the meal, so that there's not too much of damage. Number 2, very important, imagine there's a plate which you're eating in. So you eat this, use the same plate, you eat breakfast, you use the same plate to eat your lunch, and then you use the same plate to eat the dinner. And then, my friend, without washing this plate, you're going to leave it on the kitchen top counter and go to sleep. What do you think is going to happen? All the cockroaches in the kitchen are going to party on your plate. You can understand why is that? Because you have leftover food on the plate. It's the same thing about your teeth. Your mouth provides you a lot of service throughout the day. Your teeth help you enjoy what you eat and help you digest what you eat throughout the day. They give you service, but at night you forget to brush, or you're too tired or lazy to brush and you go to bed right away. Then what happens? All the food that was stuck between your teeth or sitting on top of your teeth surface, the whole night the bacteria get a chance to party overnight and decay your teeth without any interruption, and the acid attack prolongs for a long time. And then what happens? Slowly you start to see that you have a lot more decay than the person who follows these simple habits, maybe knowingly, maybe unknowingly, but because of their nature, they end up having less cavities and you do a lot. Now let's talk a little bit about stages of decay or levels of decay. They are broadly classified into 5. Level 1, this is where things are good, you can still reverse it. It means there's a small white spot lesion, the tooth is slightly soft, but with good hygiene, good flossing, good remineralization, fluoridation toothpaste, your teeth can get reversed. You don't need a cavitation filling. Comment me and ask if you need a remineralization toothpaste. That's very popularly what I would advise. Number 2, this cavity is now formed a big hole in your first layer of teeth, that is enamel. At this point, it is no longer reversible. This actually requires a restoration by a dentist or a filling. Level 3, this is where it has broken through the enamel layer and now it has gone into the next layer, the softer layer, dentine. Remember, when the cavity is there on your enamel layer, probably it will take 6 months or 1 year to eat up enamel. But once it enters dentine, the second layer, it's a very soft layer. It will take hardly 30 days to completely eat up the layer. And then coming to your level 4, that's where it reaches the pulp. And what happens in the pulp? It's where your nerve endings are there. Once it reaches pulp, you may have severe pain. You may experience pain upon consumption of food or any beverage, or sometimes so severe that even if you breathe in air, you're going to experience pain. At this point, you're no longer looking at a filling. You are now looking at an endodontic treatment, or what we call as root canal treatment. So you see what happened at stage 1, it was reversible, just good hygiene without the use of dentist. Stage 2, you needed dentist. Stage 3, you need a dentist. Stage 4, you need a dentist with anesthesia. And finally, once you come to level 5, this is where there is an abscess. The tooth is already grossly decayed. There's a lot of tooth structure loss. And at this point, the dentist may not be even able to help you with a root canal. I mean, you need to remove the tooth and may have to go for a implant, which is surgical and invasive. As you keep waiting longer and longer, the treatment becomes more demanding, more of effort, more discomfort, and more expensive for you. So let's talk a little bit about prevention, right? This is the whole point of the video. What can we do to make sure we don't land up in this situation? Number one, use a fluoridated toothpaste. I know there's a lot of information out there. They are against fluoridated toothpaste. I have advised my patients for a long time, probably 17-18 years. We have hundreds and thousands of patients. No problems. I myself use a fluoridated toothpaste. Do not give in to all this hype and fear. Fluoridated toothpaste with the prescribed recommended amount of fluoride is completely safe for you guys. It helps remineralize the teeth and keep your teeth away from cavities and strong. Now just remember, brushing twice a day with the fluoridated toothpaste actually only covers 2/3 of your tooth surface. The remaining 1/3 these brushes can never reach, and for that we have, you're right, dental floss. Flossing is more important than your brushing, especially at night, because what your food was stuck between your teeth throughout the day, you cannot clean it with the help of brush. You need to floss at least once every night. What happens, the remaining 1/3 of the tooth surface is actually clean, because normally most of the patients that walk into a dentist office, they never know they had cavity, and normally these cavities are present between two teeth, not on top of the teeth. That's because these people have never touched the floss in their life. Make sure you do floss, and I have made a separate video on how you actually need to floss. I'll put it here in the link. You can just click on it and watch it. So these basic hygiene activities of brushing and flossing and making sure you do not snack endlessly, you will make sure that you will have great hygiene and you will live a cavity free life. Now what happens after this? Let's talk about, if you're watching my video right now and you already have a cavity, or worse, you already have pain. So if you have pain, then you will need to visit the dentist and see what treatment can be recommended at what stage of your cavity is in. And if you already have a cavity, first things first, do not delay. You may be at level 1, you may be at level 2. Far better, right, than being at level 4 or level 5. Most people come to me and they say, you know what, doctor, I had this cavity problem for last 18 months, 24 months, but I was just scared to come to a dentist. Sometimes the scare is because they just hate the dental office. Sometimes they think the dentist is going to criticize them. Now I know we are, criticized that we're too hard on patients, but not all dentists are like that. Many dentists today are very empathetic. They understand, because they themselves are not perfect, so they empathize with this patient situation and they educate you well, and they make sure if it's a level 1 or level 2 or level 3 cavity, you could quickly get out of it within 15 to 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Your procedure is done. It's inexpensive, and after that you need to just maintain, come down once in 6 months, show your teeth, get yourself checked up. So remember, even if you have a Volkswagen or you have a Porsche, you're supposed to take that car to the garage, to the service center once in 6 months or a year as recommended by the manufacturer. You cannot just not take it and tell it works perfectly fine. It works perfectly fine because you've been servicing it on time. That's the same thing with your teeth. Make sure you take yourself to the dentist and get yourself checked and get a hygiene check and get your teeth cleaned, so that you never develop these problems in the first place. So cavities, in short, are not just bad luck. They are a slow chemical process which is actually reversible in the early stages and definitely repairable in the mid stages. And after that, if you still delay, probably you'll require extensive invasive procedures. So don't get scared by cavities. Make sure you have the right information, and please, I hope you love this video. If you found this useful, subscribe to my channel. I see 99% of you guys are just watching and not subscribing. Subscribing motivates me out of my busy schedule to try and make these videos for you. I will try to keep my commitment of posting at least 2 videos every week, and in my next video I'm going to explain about something my patient asked me in a consult yesterday. He's like, doc, I have wisdom teeth and I don't have really a problem, but one of the dentists I got checked, he said I want to get these extracted. So common question, what do you do with your wisdom teeth? Whether you need to extract them or not. When is it the right time to extract, or when is it the time that you need to leave it? If you're interested, stay tuned. In my next video we're going to discuss about wisdom teeth. Until then, see you. Goodbye.